as Prime Minister Keir Starmer's pledge to deploy 10,000 British troops to Ukraine as part of a Franco-British reassurance force gains momentum. Critics warn the plan risks escalating tensions with Russia and may already be unraveling. With European allies hesitant and U.S. support uncertain, is this a bold strategy to secure peace or reckless gamble? Subscribe to our channel to be the first to be notified anytime we drop a new video. Starmer's proposal, unveiled in mid-March, aims to stabilize Ukraine post-ceasefire with a coalition force led by the UK and France. French President Emmanuel Macron framed it as a credible deterrent against Russian aggression, emphasizing that deployments would hinge on Ukrainian needs. Yet the initiative faces skepticism. Starmer's 10,000 troop figure is a fraction of the 30,000 he reportedly floated to Donald Trump in February. Macron admitted the force could proceed with or without American backing, but European officials crave U.S. missile defenses and logistical support, neither guaranteed. A senior British Army source called Starmer's rhetoric PR lacking substance, while Russian analysts dismissed the plan as inconsistent and doomed by U.S. reluctance. At a Paris summit, Macron failed to secure public commitments from NATO allies, with some citing political or logistical barriers. Germany and Italy remain non-committal, while Turkey's stance remains unclear. Trump's envoy Steve Witkoff mocked the initiative as posturing, reflecting Washington's focus on direct talks with Moscow. Without U.S. satellite monitoring or air defenses, European troops risk exposure. Andrei Koshkin, a Moscow-based military expert, argues the UK lacks a decent deployment strategy, calling Starmer's rhetoric a reputation killer. Critics fear the plan risks miscalculation. If deployed without a U.S. backstop, European troops could face direct confrontation with Russian forces, a scenario that raises fears of escalation. As one anonymous EU diplomat told The Wall Street Journal, "We're gambling with fire here." Defense Secretary John Healey insists the UK will lead the effort, touting £4.5 billion in military aid and a focus on drones and air defenses. Yet Labour MP Tom Rutland's question, does the Secretary of State agree that continued support is crucial to European security, highlights the tension between idealism and pragmatism. With troop numbers uncertain, U.S. support wavering, and European unity fraying, the reassurance force risks becoming a hollow promise. As Macron conceded, not all allies will join. The question lingers, is Starmer's push a necessary stand against Russian aggression, or a deranged leap into the unknown? Can a coalition of the willing hold back the tide of war, or will it drown in its own ambition? Sir Keir, who was a Cold War peacenik in his young days, seriously wants to send what troops we still have to Ukraine, an instant trigger for war with Russia. Moscow will never tolerate NATO forces openly stationed in that country, any more than the U.S. would put up with Chinese troops in Mexico, or we would accept Russian bomber bases in Ireland. Keir Starmer visits a military base to meet planners mapping out next steps in the coalition of the willing, who would keep the peace in Ukraine. Sending troops that would trigger an instant war with Russia, writes Peter Hitchens. Keir Starmer visits a military base to meet planners mapping out next steps in the coalition of the willing, who would keep the peace in Ukraine. Sending troops that would trigger an instant war with Russia, writes Peter Hitchens.